Hello, guys. Good afternoon, my androids. How are you doing? How are things going with you? How art thou, guys? La 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 So when I discovered the truth, how angry am I going to be? When I discovered the truth that my family was all living a life of luxury and excluded me, how angry am I going to be? Rusty, how angry am I going to be when I discover the truth? He says moderately angry. Why not irrationally angry? Why not steaming angry? Why not righteously angry? He says, when you discover the truth of where our taxes go. Should I get into my underpants and do the reflection of perfection gimmick, or? I'm the reflection of perfection. Rusty says, yeah, sure, do that. Okay, I'm gonna get into my underpants off camera. 1 second. Bear in mind, I've eaten some things, so I don't want to. Okay, time to suck in my gut. I want to look nice and skinny. Do 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 do. You shouldn't even be in the same world as me. I'm perfection. I'm perfection and you're not. Take a look at perfection. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Let's look at the $1 billion buttocks. Show them the $1 billion buttocks. The $1 billion buns. Time to put my clothes back on. The reflection of perfection. All right. So if you don't know what I was doing there, that was Mark Jindrak. That was Mark Jindrak's obscure gimmick from Velocity in 2003. So if you don't know, I'm going to tell you about Mark Jindrak because why not? He was almost in Evolution, the kids that Triple H picked to be the future of the WWE. Instead, Mark Jindrak wound up being like Pete Best of the Beatles, replaced by Batista. He never had much success in the WWE. Aside from his family, Mark Jindrak had at least one fan. Me. Every Saturday night after working at the supermarket, I'd watch Velocity, the no-name wrestler show, to watch him squash jobbers. It's too bad. He was a total monster with tons of potential, but he never really amounted much in the WWE. Yeah, he was almost in Evolution. He was almost in Batista's spot. It's too bad. Instead, he went on to big and better things in Mexico, I think. Bigger and better things in Mexico. Actually, don't tell anybody, but my internet password had something to do with Mark Jindrak at one time. I don't know if maybe it still does, but my internet password had something to do with Mark Jindrak. So that's a little known fact about me. Mark Jindrak was one of my passwords because I figured nobody would guess that, you know? I figured nobody would guess. Who the fuck would guess like Jindrak, you know, derivatives of that for your internet password? Nobody. Nobody would guess Jindrak as your internet password. Jindrak 666. Jindrak 666. The reflection of perfection. All right, anybody here? I guess Rusty's out after that one. Rusty didn't like the Jindrak bit. We can change topics here. All right, you anybody want me to set up a DSLR and make some videos here? I could do that. Or maybe not. Or maybe not. We got 0 people in the house. What the hell? What the hell, guys? We got to get some more people in the house. What? I got to put the air conditioning on. It's cold. It's hot today. Somebody says, when I discover the truth, I'm going to be moderately upset. I'm not going to be irrationally angry. I'm not going to be righteously angry. We got to put on the air conditioning today. All right, so it's time to continue here. So I'm going to describe to you covert reactive abuse and something that happened with my mother today. Let me describe to you something that happened with my mother. I was in her part of the house briefly. Most of the time I sit in here alone in solitude. But when I'm around her, I can get triggered at times. Well, she kept talking about vegetable burgers, and she's like, you need your veggies. I knew exactly what she was doing. She was calling me a vegetable mind. It was covert reactive abuse. She was really trying to get me to react to her. And if I called her out on it, she intended to flip out and gaslight me. She'd say, what are you talking about? You're delusional. She knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted me to react to her mentioning the word vegetable like 10 times. Then if I reacted to it, she'd act like I'm delusional and gaslight me. This is exactly what happened. She's messing with my mind, basically. They make it like I'm severely mentally ill, but she's a sadist, a liar, and a gaslighter. It's just what the reality is. And that pretty much sums it up, guys. All right, since there's nobody here, let me get the DSLR and make some videos. Well, first we gotta record me over here because we don't want me off camera. Time to get the DSLR. I actually haven't done this angle in a while, so let's set up the camera over here. Time to get the DSLR. Okay, don't worry, guys. Although I'm not on camera here, I'm not far away. Blah, blah. I'm like, now time to get the green screen. Time to get the green screen here. Oh, this is a good toggle switching idea. Okay, time to move bottles. The toggle switch of delusion. The toggle switch of delusion. Right now, the switch is toggled off. I love my parents. They are happy people. They are kind people. I'm lovey-dovey, Andrew. Pure tranquility to be around. The toggle switch of delusion. The toggle switch of delusion. But the switch gets flipped on. I think my parents are sadists. I think they're monsters. I think they're sadistic deceivers. I think they're two-faced. I think they're nefarious and pharmacological abusers. The toggle switch of emotion. The toggle switch of delusion. Then the switch gets flipped off. I'm back to happy Andrew and chipper Andrew and the happiest, most kind and angelic person there is. I'm like a blessing to be around. The toggle switch of emotion. The toggle switch of delusion. The switch gets toggled on. I hate them. They're monsters. They're sadists. They're sadistic persecutors. They're villainous. They're evil. The toggle switch of delusion. The toggle switch of emotion. The key to recovery is to keep the switch toggled off, to control my emotions, to be happy, chipper, tranquility, Andrew, 99.9% of the time. The case of Poland Spring really adds to the ambience. All right. I want to go to an Ivy League university. I don't know if I like this one. Anybody have any video requests here? Anybody have any video requests? Oh, Rusty had a phone call. Anything with a shirt on, he says. Okay, let's get the glasses here. What's a video idea I can make? Asian woman? I don't know. They're all so good. Make a video about hamsters. I gotta unplug. Nah. Somebody asked me, do I get I probably shouldn't talk about this, but the answer to your question is no. I got one. Free speech. Somebody wants to know my opinion on transgendered women in professional sports. Well, I think there are genetic differences between people who were born a man and born a woman. It's just common sense. I think to compete in a men's division, you should have been genetically born a man, a cis man. And to compete in a woman's sports, you should be a cis woman, genetically born a woman. I mean, because there are genetic differences between a man and a woman. I mean, as much as some men want to get operations to turn them into women and some women want to get operations to turn them into men, in order to compete in sports, I think you should be born a man, a cis man or a cis woman. I don't think that's too radical an opinion to have. In fact, I think that's I know you might talk to the woke moralists in California, and they might say, "Oh, what are you, transgender phobic?" No, it's just, I mean, men have a competitive advantage when they compete in women's sports. Did you see the South Park episode with the guy who was like the Macho Man, Randy Savage? It's absurd, but that's kind of, what it's like. Like, I'm a strong woman. I'm going to dominate female sports. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Men have a genetic advantage over women, and they should not be competing in female sports. It's not that ridiculous. I mean, if you want to get an operation that turns you into a woman and you want to date, fine. You do you live your own life. You know what I mean? But, if you want to compete, if you want to be a man and become a woman, a transgender woman, and compete in women's sports, that's ridiculous. That's insane. All right. Rusty wants to make videos about hamsters. I've never had a hamster. I don't know much to say about that. Okay, one more. So some people ask, should there be a limit of freedom of speech on misinformation? If what somebody is saying is incorrect, should that be a crime? Should that be a jailable offense, or should that be, criminal to spread misinformation? I don't think it should. I think freedom of speech should still exist. Who defines misinformation? A lot of conspiracy theories turn out to be true. It seems like the woke moralists and the left wing want to criminalize misinformation and use it to jail people who speak out against popular opinion in a way that's, trying to eliminate free speech, which is a constitutional amendment. Who defines what misinformation is? Take some of these vaccines. A lot of the conspiracy theories about them turn out to be true. And, if somebody speaks out, they could say it's misinformation. You're going to go to jail. And, you can't speak out against the popular opinion. So in a way, it's censoring freedom of speech, and it's making freedom of speech a jailable offense. Just because you disagree with what somebody is saying doesn't mean you should be able to jail them under the guise of misinformation. A lot of these conspiracy theories turn out to be true. And even if the conspiracy theories are not true, educate yourself, fact check it, and realize what the truth is. You know what I mean? Don't listen to some schmuck on the internet and say, this guy is speaking the truth, And, we should, and when it comes to misinformation, let's jail CNN, MSNBC, and even Fox News. They all spread misinformation, and their narrative control has led to many innocent people's lives getting ruined. So, but I bet you the misinformation clause, if they do get it passed, will only be used to jail some schmuck on the internet, not to police the fake news, the CNNs and MSNBCs, and So I don't know. I personally think we should have freedom of speech, even if you don't agree with somebody, even if somebody's a troll that's spreading bullshit. Educate yourself and learn the truth for yourself. Don't jail people because you think they're spreading misinformation. All right. And that will do it.